up on our screens. And we'll talk about stocks. What do we have? The Nifty starting very tentative, 21,982 is where the Nifty is at. 72,400 plus is where the Sensex is at right now. So it's a 40-point start on the Nifty higher and about a 90-point start higher on the Sensex. So first a couple of hours is going to be a little tentative with everyone kind of watching what's happening and before things settle down. Mid-cap index is up 1/3%. The small-cap index is up as well, about 1/4%. Those two areas, of course, have seen, have had it worse as compared to the Nifty over the last 4-5 trading sessions now. Yesterday as well, both these indices were down about 2% each. But that's the indices. But stocks is where most of the action is always there. Sonia's got those rates. Sonia.
Well, thanks a lot for that, Prashant. I think the important number to look at is here, right? The BSE advanced decline ratio. Now, for now, it's looking good. It's not too bad. So there are almost 1,000 stocks on the advancing side, which indicates that perhaps today we are heading for a stable day, but it may be too soon to call. At least the initial tick indicates that it's not such a bad opening for the market. So as you can see, still below the 22,000 mark, but hanging on without any cut this morning. Let's get straight to individual stocks. I'm interested to see what's happening with SBI this morning because as we've been telling you, a lot of brokerages coming in and raising their target prices on SBI. So up almost 1%. Nomura has a target price of 1,000 rupees. Morgan Stanley has a target price of 800. SBI has crossed that. But in general, the mood is good on SBI. In the broader markets, Escorts is something I'm looking at. Now, the commentary of the management was quite muted. The revenues were also under pressure. But there is some recovery that Escorts is seeing this morning. Interesting here, up almost 2.5%. Some of the numbers that came in post-market hours, I'm looking at BPCL this morning, 4.5% higher. Q4 was largely in line with estimates. The EBITDA actually rose 50% and the margins were up 250 basis points quarter on quarter. So BPCL really shining through this morning. Apart from that, Max Financial is up about 1.5%. The April total APE went up 35% and the retail APE was up almost 32%. So looking pretty good on Max Financials. Now, SRF is the one that I think a lot of people on the street are watching, but the stock is not doing anything this morning. The FY25 chemical business growth is seen at 20% and the margins at 26 to 27%. Apart from that, Abbott, let's look at that, 2.5% higher. Revenues are up 7%. Margins have risen 100 basis points year on year. LIC is the other one. The April premium has gone up about 113%. And the total APE has risen 31%. Retail annual premium equivalent is up 18%. So good numbers coming in from LIC. That stock is well in the green. Now, Brigade Enterprises has been in the news for the last many days. They're developing several projects, a new residential project in Bengaluru. The sales value is 660 crores, so look at that. Today, two big numbers from the auto space coming in post-market hours. There's Tata Motors, expected to be a strong set because JLR was pretty good this quarter in terms of volume growth. And there's also Eicher Motors, not great numbers because there's been a bit of a slowdown in the commercial vehicle piece. Apart from that, I'm also looking out for Mahanagar Gas. Let's get that stock up for you. The volumes were below estimates. The margins fell quarter on quarter, so the street doesn't like those numbers too much. Asian Paints, as we've been telling you, the numbers were weak. The stock was down 5% post numbers, and a lot of brokerages coming out with views. Jefferies says the Q4 was an all-round miss, so the street doesn't like that. In any case, Asian Paints has been underperforming for a while. But let's get back to the headline index, which everyone is tracking now. Still quite steady state actually on the Nifty, up about 50 odd points, as you can see, holding on to the 22,000 mark. But the day is long, so let's see which way things go. Back to you.
All right, Sonia, thanks a lot for that. Well, tech is under some pressure today. Infosys is down close to around 1.5%. I'm just looking at global news. Overnight, you had IPAM that came out with its set of numbers, and they have given another guidance cut on sluggish recovery. So Infosys is down close to around 1.5%, maybe some part of some kind of a rub-off based on what IPAM had to say. But the stock that's getting clobbered this morning is Intellect Design. It's down 14%. I was just looking at it on a sequential basis. The revenues have degrown, margins have improved a little bit, but the street has not taken it too kindly. Remember, these are one of the stocks that have done very, very well in the recent past, and valuations as well were not very supportive. So on the back of weak numbers, not too much comfort on valuations, the stock is down close to around 14%. Sharp downtick out there. Persistent Systems as well down close to around 2.5%. What's doing well then? Well, a couple of good earnings reactions we've got. Suryoday Small Finance Bank, that's up close to around 2%. Manappuram Finance got slammed yesterday. The management came out with a clarification as well. So from the lows, it's seen a bit of a bounce. It's up close to around 2.5% odd. A few more notable movers in trade today. UCO Bank is down close to around 1%. That's one of the top volume movers in trade today. The stock of the morning has to be BPCL. That's up 3.5% odd. ITC is putting on some weight, up close to around 1.5%, while the tech pack is seeing a bit of a decline. Infosys is down. You have LTI Mindtree as well from the Nifty pack, both of them under some pressure. And SPI, stock is still holding in the green. The numbers look good. The stock has already run up considerably, 28% in this year so far, but it's still holding mildly in the green. And as we did that market check, Prashant, the markets almost moved into the red. The Nifty Bank, the swing factor of the day, can it stop this decline that we have seen in the last few sessions? 5% from the top. Prashant.
You know, Nigel, once after a day like yesterday, once you will get, in the morning you will get a swing and maybe a test of the low. But then after that, can we find some stability? That is the point we'll have to see. 21,950 is where the Nifty is at. So just as we speak, we're in the, it's blinking red and green. The normal kind of day would be nice as we go into the weekend. Now, we got, 1,200 stocks higher, 800 stocks lower. That is the advanced decline ratio. BPCL is the biggest volume-led gainer with a 3.33% pop. LIC is coming out of nowhere, 1.5% gain, 916 on LIC, and it's got huge volumes right now. There's something like a Jupiter wagon, small name, but volumes are third largest across, 3% higher. We had the management with us recently. Manappuram ended about 7% lower. That's gaining 3% down. Actually, it was strange because Muthoot came on the air yesterday, said, well, these new RBI cash disbursement limits and the reiteration of that doesn't really impact them. Muthoot ended flat and Manappuram ended down 7. So Manappuram is up a little bit, so maybe making up for that. Escorts is up about 3%. Sonia mentioned that. Paytm is up about 2%. Moil is up 3%. Castrol starts about 4% higher, 195-ish. CAMS is up about 2.25%. We'll be speaking with the management of CAMS in a bit from now. So this is, some of what is going on across the board. I think we, of course, mentioned Intellect. Maybe look at Elecon Engineering as well. That's down 7%, and it's got volumes behind it. MGL is down about 2.33%. Sterling Wilson and Solar is down about 3%. And it's just opening up. Kirloskar Oil Engines, of course, had a big move up. So it's seeing a bit of a pullback down about 2.5% or so. So that is the picture. So absolutely flat, quiet. 7 points on the index, 11 points, 21,970 is where we're at.